It's all good. Well, I'm excited to talk to you. The Way looks so good. We're gonna be getting into that. Your new movie that comes out November 12th. But before we get into that, here at Bionic Buzz, we are all about people's passions. I want to know where your passion to be a filmmaker kind of came from. Was a certain movie or TV show inspired, or something that was just naturally for you as a child?
I've always been into storytelling. Growing up, my father would always tell me stories, read me
Hmm.
stories from classics to creating stories. So I think that that was kind of in the DNA, as it were. And then ultimately, when I got into the theater, I was like, I love this. And then that led to filmmaking and that creativity and the opportunity to create stories and share that and understanding how important that is.
Cool. Well, let's get into The Way. I mean, it looks like it's a very unique movie. I mean, you got like action, drama. It tells a story of Jane, who's 13 years ago condemned to death after this crazy killing of like an underground like street fight, I guess it looks like. And now she's got 24 hours before she's executed, and her boyfriend, who's also the correctional officer, is like trying to break her out. So, talk about like putting this movie together, and the story behind it.
Yeah, it was really quite a journey, Stephen,
Mhm.
because when the script was written, it took about 2 years to put it all together. And then we raised the funds and we were ready to go. And of course, the pandemic hit. And then the
Yeah.
question this because it was in the beginning era and the entire business, the whole entertainment industry was shut down. And we decided to go for it, because the content of the film, the whole idea is that, trusting in what is, and it got us through. And it was an
Mhm.
amazing shoot. And we actually came in a day early. Uh, Nobody got sick. And it was really a wonderful experience putting it all together. And casting took 6 months, finding Eli and Kelsey, and Joan and the right Lorenzo and everybody else, the right actors for the parts. And then imagine doing casting when the pandemic is starting. You have to do all your casting like this
Yeah,
over
resume. Yeah. Uh,
Zoom, man. So, there's this experience. And then when you meet someone in person, it's like, whoa, what's
oh,
that like?
hey. Well, what was
But
it like
navigating.
casting Eli as Jane? Because I mean, she obviously has got to be like do a lot of action, but show a lot of like range in her acting as like the drama going through of like being on death row and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting actually. With Eli, ultimately I decided, the few people that were left to cast, I asked if they would meet me outside somewhere with
Mhm.
masks, and just to have a conversation.
Gotcha.
And when I met Eli, she told me her background and her life story as well. And so much of it, aspects of it align with Jane. And aside from her being a stunt performer as well, because I was like, who's going to be able to carry this part? There's so many aspects, and we have to believe it. And once we sat down and we talked, I was like, oh man, this is the one I've been looking for. And she showed up on set and delivered, man. Let me tell you,
Mhm.
what an amazing actress. And of course, the rest of the cast. But yeah, very, very proud of her work.
Very cool. It must have been, from other people I've talked to that shot during the pandemic, like at least this one, I guess you very had a very close set. You probably didn't need a ton of extras and stuff. Like, so it was a little bit easier probably for you to shoot this during the pandemic.
Well, well, it was at the beginning, man, before
Okay.
vaccines, before any of that, and everybody. It was like everything had to be wiped down at the end of the day. Every item had to be sanitized. Everybody had to be in different spaces. Everybody had to have
Gotcha.
masks. And we did have background, of course, come and join us for the prison scenes, for the fight scenes. We needed stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it was a really challenging experience. I mean, making a movie, as you know, is already super hard to even get it off the ground and get it together. Now you're in a
Oh yeah.
situation where there has to be social distancing. You have to wear a mask all day. There has to be filtration. Everything has to be sprayed down every hour. You have to be constantly tested. And then how do you create intimate scenes and performances and fighting and So it was quite challenging. But everybody rose up and faced it. And the thing is having a theater background really helped me because I did a lot of rehearsal with everybody.
Hmm.
So when we all showed up from the production side to the performance side, everybody knew what was going on. So it was just a matter of dialing it in. And I'm grateful for that.
Very cool. So it comes out November 12th. Is it in theaters and VOD, or
So
where's it going to
basically,
be released?
yeah, November 12th is going to be a limited engagement in Los Angeles
Mhm.
at the Music Hall Lumiere in Beverly Hills for about a week, maybe
Oh,
two.
cool.
And then early January, it's going to come out everywhere on VOD, on demand, Apple, Google, iTunes, all of that for purchase for a few months. And then after that, it'll go to streaming and then ultimately AVOD. So it'll go through multiple iterations. But it will be out beginning of January for everybody to see everywhere. And if you're in LA, come to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We a lot of people in LA that watch Bionic Buzz. So come on out. Is there a website you could go for tickets and info about the movie?
Yes. Thewaymovie.com.
Very cool. Before I let you go, is there anything else you're working on or allowed to talk about? Anything? Anything else coming up?
I'll tell you this. I'm on the second draft of the next film, and it is going to be amazing. It's about two friends who are on the road, and they fall in with a gang of thieves. And what
Ooh,
happens?
that sounds cool. Are you on
And it's
social
going
media?
to
We can follow your journey going forward anywhere.
absolutely at Dastan Khalili on Instagram, and also Alliance of Light Film on Instagram and Facebook, both the production company and myself. And happy to share.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me, and we'll talk down the road. All right.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Stephen. Keep up the fantastic work, man.